Hello, welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm Qocaman. President İlham signed an executive order on additional measures on implementing restoration and repair construction works of facilities damaged by the aggression of Armenian armed forces against the territory of Azerbaijan starting from September 27, 2020. According to the executive order, 30 million from the reserve fund of the president envisaged in the state budget for 2021 was allocated to the State Committee on Urban Planning and Architecture. President İlham signed an executive order on additional measures on the payment of financial assistance for the damage caused for the vehicles belonging to the civilians and the state business entities as a result of the aggression of the armed forces of the Republic of Armenia against the territory of the Republic of Azerbaijan from September 27, 2020. According to the executive order, 5,400,000 manats from the reserve fund of the president were allocated to the Ministry of Economy of the Republic of Azerbaijan to that end. President İlham signed another executive order on additional measures on the payment of financial assistance for the damage caused to the property of the civilian population as a result of the aggression to the territory of the Republic of Azerbaijan by armed forces of the Republic of Armenia started from September 27, 2020. According to the executive order, 5,200,000 manats from the reserve fund of the president were allocated to the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Azerbaijan to that end. President İlham signed another order on additional measures on eliminating damage caused to agriculture as a result of aggression of Armenian armed forces to the territory of Azerbaijan from September 27, 2020. According to the executive order, 1,400,000 manats from the reserve fund of the president were allocated to the Ministry of Agriculture of the Republic of Azerbaijan. In response to the information spread by the Armenian side about the incident on the state border, the Azerbaijan Defense Ministry stated that units of the Azerbaijan army did not open fire. Quote, "There were no wounded among the military personnel. If there are any losses or wounded in the Armenian armed forces, it could only happen as a result of incident that occurred between them." Azerbaijan is strengthening diplomatic pressure in all directions, thus narrowing the scope of Armenia's activity, and for that reason the opposing side makes severe mistakes. The propaganda campaign conducted against Azerbaijan and Turkey by Armenian ideologies on international platforms has yielded no results, and Yerevan's initiative to oppose the alliance of Baku and Ankara with the Collective Security Treaty Organization is strongly rejected.
Since the signing of a joint declaration by the presidents of Azerbaijan and Turkey in Shusha, a diplomatic crisis reigns in Armenia. Official Yerevan and the global network of the Armenian lobby, mainly targeting Turkey, demonstrate willingness to incite conflict between major forces to prevent Ankara's active participation in the process in the South Caucasus. Armenians claiming the policy pursued by Turkey is contrary to the interests of the US, Russia, Iran, and even China and India are now conducting a smear campaign in various organizations and sometimes achieve certain support. However, the enemy must understand that its eagerness won't be able to thwart the priorities envisaged in the Shusha Declaration sent by President İlham and President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Turkey and Azerbaijan today are the closest countries in the world. There are many factors that bind us together. First of all, history, culture, common ethnic roots, language, religion, national values, national interests, brotherhood of our people. Today we are setting a unique example of cooperation and alliance on a global scale, said President İlham. Several events characterizing the alliance between Baku and Ankara are already accompanied by serious concern in the Armenian media and in government circles. As an example, the joint military exercises held last week, first in the Turkish city of Konya and then in Baku, a visit to our country on July 5th of a delegation led by Commander of the Turkish Air Force, Hasan Küçükakyüz, an exclusion on the same day by the Azerbaijani delegation of paragraphs contrary to the interests of Turkey from the declaration adopted by the Standing Committee of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly in Vienna, reflecting the highest level of relations between the two fraternal countries. In that sense, Armenia's attempts to put the OSCE, the EU, NATO and CSTO against us are doomed to fail. Unable to force the CSTO to provide military aid to Armenia in the 44-day war, Pashinyan's team is now striving to use the organization's power in the issue of border demarcation. We demonstrated during 44 days what our army is. If we wanted to take those lands, we would have taken it. First and then, why should we take the lands of Armenia? Why should we give Armenia a chance to apply the CSTO for military support? Are we crazy? No, they wanted to take the lands, and so Pashinyan could come then and say, I'm a brave commander of an unbeatable Armenian army. I came here and stand in Toulouse, said President Ilham Aliyev. Recent statements of the head of the CSTO also do not promise any prospects for the defeated country. Thus, Secretary General's organization, Stanislav Zeiss, stated that this will not interfere in the issue related to the tensions on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Quote, "You have to understand that the potential of the CSTO is used only in the case of an aggression, an attack on one of the member countries. Here we are dealing in fact with a border incident. There are no casualties, no shooting. This is a border incident. It must be resolved, and we are in favor of resolving it peacefully." End of quote. The statement of the head of the CSTO caused shock in Yerevan. Pashinyan Security Council Secretary Armen Grigoryan urged Mr. Zeiss to be cautious about making such statements and to regard what is happening on the border not as an incident, but as an aggression against Armenia. Despite the efforts of Yerevan, the fact remains: the CSTO will not support Armenia in the border issue, and this is a serious argument for Yerevan, which is reluctant to sign the peace agreement, to think and make a rational decision.
During the visit of Russian Health Minister Mikhail Murashko to Azerbaijan, an updated agreement on cooperation in the field of healthcare and medical science was signed between our countries. First Deputy Minister, Acting Minister of Health Teymur Musayev spoke about cooperation between our countries and stressed Russia's support in the fight against the pandemic, the provision of tests and the Sputnik V vaccine against COVID-19. Touching upon the successful interaction of the two countries in the field of healthcare, Russian Health Minister Mikhail Murashko emphasized the activities of the first Moscow State Medical University's Baku branch, the first graduation of which took place this year. A memorandum of understanding and cooperation in the field of labor, employment and social protection was signed between the Azerbaijani Ministry of Labor and Social Protection of the Population and Ministry of Labor, Employment, Veteran and Social Affairs of Serbia. The document will lay the grounds for mutually beneficial cooperation. At the meeting, Minister of Labor and Social Protection of the Population, Sahil Babayev, spoke about the steps taken to increase social benefits, active employment and social protection programs in our country, and that the volume of trade turnover increased by 55.39% in January and May this year. Serbia's Minister of Labor, Employment, Veteran and Social Affairs, Darija Kisić-Tepavicic, expressed satisfaction with the strategic level of relations between the two countries. 78 more cases of coronavirus infections have been recorded in Azerbaijan, while 47 people have been recovered and discharged from the hospital. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 336,557, with 330,513 recoveries and 4,978 deaths. The number of active infections is 1,066. To detect infection cases, overall 3,802,992 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.